Hi Kate, I'm going to do some groundwork. I'm going to show you everything from saddling this horse, grooming, saddling him, to our lunging and groundwork exercises, and then I'll get on him and I'll show you, the riding part. This is Rascal. Start out by grooming him. Before I ride him, every time I always pick his feet out. Up. 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 He's usually real good about his feet. He's never given me any trouble as far as picking his feet up. Like I told you earlier, we have him shod. He's probably good for another couple of weeks, and then you'll have to reshoot him. If you have any questions about that, and we always have commotion. The dog's barking, and there's a pet pig running around here. So there's always commotion here at this barn. This is not just on Rascal, but here at Arnaz Pasofino. Anytime I girth a horse up, I never make that real tight. I just snug it up, and then we'll go ahead and we'll do his groundwork, and then I'll retighten it before I mount him. It's snug there, but it's not real tight. I just don't like tightening them up real tight. It causes the horses to kind of hunch up and stuff. So. Just snug it up, and then once we do our groundwork, we'll go ahead and I use just this rope halter. I'll put the rope halter on him, and then I put the mylar bit on him, and just one rein. Rascal's real good with this stuff. He's had this done hundreds of times, saddle and everything on him. But I just want to show you everything from the start to finish with this horse. I just take my thumb and just kind of put it in the corner of his mouth there. And he's usually real easy. He'll open up real easy. And then once I get the rein and everything on Rascal, we'll go outside. I'll show you the fly spray. He's real good with fly spray or any sprays. said that doesn't bother him. And this is what I talked to you earlier. When you first go to lunge rascal, sometimes he'll be a little frisky. I always just make him walk, and I'll walk him a lap. If I go out and I just cut him, and start to lunge him, he'll kind of run around pretty fast for you. So I like it to be controlled. So I just walk him the first lap or so, and then I'll ask him to lunge. And it's really not just rascal, it's any horse. I just make him walk like this a lap or two, and then I'll go ahead and lunge him. And as I'm walking here, I usually do a couple stops and backs with him. That's just to get his mind on me and let him pay attention. And there again, just nice and easy, walk back 1 or 2 times. And now I'll go ahead and ask Rascal to lunge. And when I ask him to lunge, I do 2 size circles. I do a medium-sized circle and a bigger circle. In my medium-sized circle, and I like to start out at that size circle, I just want this horse at his medium speed or gaiting. Although I'm not real concerned if he's going to gait. If he just trots, that's fine with me. And then we'll make a big circle with him, and then I actually want him to canter then. So then we'll ask the horse to canter. So I'm just going to start out, which it will actually be on the inside of these cones with my medium-sized circle, like this. And I take 5 to 10 minutes every single time I get this horse out. I do these ground exercises before I get up and ride. Again, not just with Rascal, but any horse that I train here at the farm. And Rascal is such a natural gaited horse. He is going to continue to gait for you the whole time as he's going around this circle. I just left him on the outside on the cones there, and we'll go ahead. After I get just a couple laps of warm up, I'll go ahead and ask him to canter. And I'll make my circle a little bigger. And you can feel he's a little frisky there, kind of hunching the saddle a little bit. Again, this is why I work my horses and lunge them for a couple minutes before I ride them. And I'll bring him back down to the gate. First we go the other direction. Not much difference between the size of those circles, only 3 or 4 feet, but my medium-sized circle I like for him to gait, and then the bigger circle I like for him to canter. And I like to change his speed, so I'll go to the gait here and then the canter, and I'll go back and forth maybe 2 or 3 times. You can see the big air around and around. Okay, so once I've done that, now I kind of got him warmed up. The next I do this, I do it just at the walk. Nice and easy. And I'm bending again, bending his whole body from his pole the whole way back to his tail. We'll do that 2 or 3 times each direction. Again, I use the pole, but you don't have to use the pole. I'll show you here. I just use the cone, I do the same thing. I want this horse's head and neck to be laterally bent, and I also want his nose to start to go towards his chest. That gives me my vertical flexion. So I get all flexions, lateral and vertical, when I go to this tight circle. This is exactly what I want him to do right here. Go the other direction. And then I'll run through my other exercises. The other exercises, I move every part of this horse's body before I get on him. What we're going to do is we're going to flexing, standing still. So I'm just going to take my lunge lead here, and I'm going to ask Rascal to bring his nose right to the shoulder, the point of the front shoulder. And I'm going to do that both sides, right to the point of the shoulder. I'll do that 1 or 2 times each direction. The next exercise we'll work on, we're going to move his hips. So to move his hips, I'm going to bend his head halfway, and I'm just going to apply pressure in the flank area here, and I'm going to say move that hip, move the hip, move the hip. Once he does that once or twice, that's good. Now I'm going to step up front towards his eye, and I'm going to ask him to move his shoulder. You see my right hand here, I'll just kind of touch him with my right hand. My body's up by his head, and I'm just walking into him and making him move that front shoulder. Now the key here, we're going to do that from both sides. So I did it from the left side, so now I'm going to get over to the right side to move the hip. I'm going to bend his head halfway, ask him to move his hip. I want that hip to move out. Stop. I'm already up here by his eye. I'm going to take my left hand, just touch his shoulder, and ask him to move his shoulder. And the last couple steps there was real good. We actually want him to cross over with that front end. Okay, so that's the ground exercises. I do them every single time I get on Rascal or any other horse here at the barn. So now we'll go ahead and we'll go outside and I'll get some film of him under saddle.